Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Sunny?
We're good. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you. I do see here Shabaka. Good afternoon, honey. How are you doing? And before we begin, okay, I would like to go ahead and ring the meditation singing bowl to get started. All right, man, that almost made me go to sleep. Before we get started, I have a few announcements that I'd like to make before Sunny takes over. And the first thing I would like to mention is that I have received a wonderful and lovely gift from Bertina. And so, Bertina, if you're here in the chat, let me know. Um, Hello, Nurse Moonshine. You're trying not to freak out over the thunderstorms happening one after another? You got this, honey. New word.
I like
Pusa,
that word.
how do you pronounce it?
Pusillanimous.
Pusillanimous? Sounds like pussy. Uh, but anywho, so I don't know if Bertina is here in the chat, but I wanted to share with everyone because you will see this when I return. I have a lovely new altar cloth here. If you guys can see.
Beautiful.
Yes. And so thank you, Bertina, for this lovely gift. And also, I have this secondary cloth that she has made for me. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. So thank you, Bertina. Ooh, this looks really exotic. Thank you for doing this. This is a wonderful gift. Let's see what else. Uh, Secondly, okay, I will be going on vacation if you guys don't know already. So I'm making another announcement. And so, if you guys would like to book a reading with me, you still can. It's just you're going to have to wait until I return. Now, my estimated time is on the 25th of this month. And I may be able to do it sooner, it may be later, but I'll definitely let you know where you're at when I return. Okay, so that's FYI. And if you guys need immediate assistance, okay, I have lovely Sunny here, and she could assist you with an astrological report on anything that you have that's going on. Okay, and I use Sunny all the time with my personal situations. I don't do tarot readings. I get astrology reports. So go ahead and take advantage. All of her readings are on sale and she's available. And she could get to your reading fairly quickly. That's what I
Love to
have.
do it. Yeah. Lionmountainhealing.com.
Yes. And so, without further ado, okay, Sunny, what do you have for us for this full moon?
Are we ready? It's an action-packed supermoon. So the moon is closest to the earth that it will be for a full moon for the remainder of the year. It's at 21 degrees, 21 minutes of Capricorn. So 2121 can be a significant numerology for people. It deduces to three, and then 3 and 3 is 6. So this is about harmony through balance, mind, body, spirit. And Capricorn is symbolized by the fish-tailed goat. And this symbology, that fishtail, stems back to deeply spiritual roots at the bottom of the ocean where mysteries and intuition is found around water. And however, they are the mountain goat at the top of the mountain. They're considered the workaholic of the zodiac because they work
Mm-hmm.
very, very hard to get to the top of that mountain. It is a cardinal earth sign. So these are the leaders and the movers and shakers that get things done. It in the natural wheel represents the 10th house, which is your profession, your sense of responsibility. And the word responsibility boils down to the ability to respond. So feeling overwhelmed or too much to do, that sometimes helps me break it down to, well, I know I have the ability to respond, so just take a deep breath. Breath work will be very important this month and next month. We're under a bombardment of some historic aspects that I'm going to review, but I wanted to give you an initial feel for Capricorn energy. It can represent archetypes like the prime minister, the father or a mature male in your life, the hermit. It is the strategist, can also be a tyrannical energy, or I love the word curmudgeon.
Oh, what
So
does that mean?
grumpy.
Oh, curmudgeon. Okay, I'll remember that one.
I like curmudgeon. So some of the gems and crystals that fall under the rulership of Capricorn are tiger eye, obsidian, smoky quartz, rose quartz, and clear quartz. So the full moon is always a good time to put any of your gems and crystals in your windowsill or out in the moon in the yard where they're safe to be re-energized by the moon's energy. It is exact tomorrow on the where's my little chart here? So it's exactly on the west coast at 11:38 a.m. and here on the east coast 2:38 p.m. So it's during the day when it will be at its peak. Generally, these energies last 3 days ahead and after. Capricorn rules the knees and bones. A lot of discomfort with knees can often mean needing to be more flexible. It's ruled by the planet Saturn, who's pretty stern, pretty mature, stoic. Saturn can make us feel restrictions. So sometimes Capricorn can be, resistant to change or not liking to change easily. There can be kind of a stubborn streak there. So with bones, it can also include the teeth. And oftentimes, if you're having a tooth problem, it can be financial worries. And some of the natural herbs for helping with knee pain would be arnica, comfrey, thyme, and chamomile. And for teeth, it could be including the chamomile, like cloves and yarrow. So you can do different things, tinctures and compresses, if you're into more natural ways of healing your aches and pains. So let's talk about what else is going on besides the full moon, because there's a whole series of other aspects going on, and they will play into the energies that we're under. So this moon is going to be making a trine, which is a 120-degree aspect, which is a positive, very lady luck, fortunate aspect to the planet Uranus. You might see innovation in agriculture and how we're processing our food, new ideas and inventions coming to light. One of the things you've already started seeing some information out there is innovations in medicine, such as med beds. Med beds work off of your electrical system to balance in your meridians. So you may be drawn towards seeking Reiki healing, anything like nature path to feel more balanced and renewed. So we have some aspects to the planet Neptune as well. In Gemini, it'd be squaring Venus. You may be getting seduced by two different people. You may be thinking of two different people. Gemini is a sign of the twins, and with Venus there in Neptune, it's very seductive. You may find yourself having to make a decision between two love interests. It's a very artistic energy there, Neptune, Venus, creative poetry. You might tap into your own inner artist to express yourself more creatively. The thing about Neptune that you want to be discerning about is disinformation. So I'm also kind of going to be referencing to some of the current events going around the globe, and use a healthy dose of discernment like I do. When you can see things on film and or if you live in some of these areas and can witness it for yourself, certainly you can bank on that. But then there's a whole lot of non-confirmed information out there as well. So also I don't talk about asteroids a lot. I know in more current studies of astrology, they're included along with the planets. I just always have stuck pretty much with the traditional planets we know. But when there are interesting aspects to an asteroid and you can witness it in your own reality, I think it's very fascinating. Neptune is also making a trine to the sun and an asteroid named Ceres. Ceres represents like harvest and grain. It's a very Virgo-like energy. Again, a trine is fortunate. There was a Japanese doctor, last name Omoto, who did scientific experiments on water crystals. He'd put them under strong magnifying and take pictures of them, and he would play, like hard metal rock to the music, and they would come out all distorted looking. He would play classical symphony music, and they would come out looking like beautiful snowflakes. And his whole point is that our bodies are mostly water, so the vibrations that we put around us can directly affect our mental state and how we feel. So Neptune, again, involved making a positive aspect to Ceres and the sun. You might, it would be important to slow down and be grateful for your water and your food. And if you're planting seeds, that there's so much disruption in the food chain and question about how our food gets handled. These are really important times for us to bless that which we ingest or take in. So, trying to get in a habit of blessing your water before you drink it, blessing your food before you eat it, and blessing seeds before you plant them. Again, it feeds off of this electromagnetic energy that's part of us. And that is going to be a huge theme for us the remainder of the year, that we are tapping into a more psychic, electrical energy as opposed to staunch old beliefs that will not be serving humanity anymore. It's more moving towards that Atlantean, the lost city of Atlantis, and how the psychic element in society was used. And we'll go further into that. But remember, Neptune is the fantasy and seduction and warm and fuzzy. I was just telling Scorpio Moon before we came on, I'm having some of the wildest dreams lately that I'm remembering. I'm retaining them to bring back. And although they don't make a whole lot of sense, that's what Neptune will do. It will put color into your dreams. It could be sexual because of the seduction. You may have outer body experiences. You were talking about last time the remote viewing. So these are all really positive energies for doing the metaphysical tools when it comes to your subconscious mind and the powers that we, for the most part, leave untapped
Mhm.
as a 3D human being. Um, Again, two asteroids that are in a square, Eros and Ceres. Wouldn't really bring that other than we're seeing it on TV, and a square is a lot of tension, and those are the food protests, disruptions in general of getting product to the market. It is short term, so that's kind of the information I wanted to impart, that as you see these disruptions, whether it be in rolling brownouts with electricity or sporadic connections to your internet, it is short term. And this week in my area in Virginia, um, daily just about the electricity has blinked on and off. So I'm prompting that if you lose me, I'll get back on. But we've had these just sporadic disconnections. Um, I believe that is where the whole world as a whole is evolving to a more innovative way of providing electricity, um, based off of the Starlink system or satellites, which is, very Uranus like as we talk about things happening in space.
I would
So,
like to interject, like,
please, yes.
yeah, recently I was talking to a lady, and she said her friend just moved into a home, and he didn't realize that the electricity bill was like $400 a month to really run like a small 3-bedroom home. And he didn't know that what he was getting into when you purchase a home, is to ask the question, what is the utilities like in a particular home? And now he's stuck with a $400 electricity bill.
Yeah.
And so the alternative that they offer here is solar energy, but you have to be on a waiting list, and it does take time. So I believe that whatever the energy people, okay, and whatever area that you're at, they're open to solar energy, which I'm kind of surprised, but maybe they're getting like a payout, for you know
Absolutely.
referring other sources of energy. But I felt that that was really interesting. So if you have the ability to install solar panels on your property or wherever you're at, I would, just go ahead and start transitioning into something like that, so that you're not really reliant on um, public sources, for your energy.
So let's take that to another level,
Hmm.
because there's a whole history of the energy companies and solar power, windmill power. Um, but Tesla actually had tapped into how we could all have our electricity for free.
Hmm.
He had a patent, and it was squelched by big money, of these, basically these globe ball looking things that you would sit in your living room and it would power your whole house. And
Hmm.
that was the work Tesla did. Um, in this area, I think it's like $400 you can purchase a box that works off of the same concept. It is through the power company, but as the time goes on, and certainly between now and 2026, alternative electricity beyond solar and windmill are coming. So, there's a lot of controversy over solar and windmill energy. Um, there is a jurisdiction in Virginia where people in a rural area try to fight the power company wanting to rent their land to install solar farms.
Hmm.
And across the United States, and as solar energy has been politicized, because a lot of it's a political platform, is we have done it long enough to where we can see what happens to a solar farm after 20 years. They basically have a lifetime of 20 years, and they have not been able to do it to the extent of powering like a whole town, or it's just limited areas. But the what it leaves behind in terms of cleanup of concrete, and the panels that have disintegrated, becomes an environmental issue. So there's this whole sort of political cycle, just like with windmill farms, same way. And I believe it's Sweden tried to go strictly windmill farms, and it doesn't work. It doesn't give all the power. It does supplement, but it doesn't give all the power that is to meet the demand. So when we're talking about environment and changes and the placement of planets that we're under right now, I don't know if anyone caught this this week. There's been a farmers' protest in the Netherlands. There's a lot going on in the Netherlands. And of course, they've kind of been ahead of the United States with environmental issues, and wanting to try and do things better. So the farmers did like what we had in Canada and the United States for the truckers. They did a tractor convoy, and it was to protest. And my point, when I start talking about worldly views, what I'd like you to keep in mind is these planets are also working on us personally. So I might give you a example of something happening in another country, but you can analyze that for yourself about your own, corner of the world, your relationships, how these energies work. So we're talking about Uranus, Neptune, Venus, the moon. These are very emotional times. These are very disruptive times. So not only do we see it in world news feeds, but in your personal relationships as well. So I don't mean to not be talking about personal relationships, but sometimes the examples that we can witness, and we can break it down to how it's playing out in our life every day. So these farmers in the Netherlands, and again, it's about how something's spun and then what's behind the story. So the government is trying to force a policy for farmers to reduce their nitrogen footprint, okay, which really means getting rid of their cattle. So, and what the government wants is the land to build projects for refugees. So what it means, what they try to present it as an environmental thing, over the last 10 years, that country has reduced its nitrogen output by 70%. And the government is not attacking like automobile output and factory output. It's specific to the farmers because they want the land. So here you have a very Neptunian cloak, and this is my point of Neptune can spin a fuzzy narrative, and behind the fog is some other issue. So and you can play that out in personal relationships pretty easily.
Oh yeah, because to me, it's not really a personal relationship. I'm looking at it from a corporatized like opportunity.
Yeah.
Like everyone is looking at a piece of land for, like how much money can I make off of this, and blah blah blah, right? Because I think I was watching some kind of thing about the Amazon being the largest producer of nitrogen gas. And let's say that all of that was released into the atmosphere, that would actually change the climate. that would actually contribute to climate change.
Right.
So I think that it's really important to disperse whatever this, the gas that we're, emitting into the atmosphere. But also, it's like, I mean, I'm not a farmer and I don't know about gases and stuff like that, but the whole thing about consumerism really gets to me.
Well, what's interesting astrologically is Neptune rules gases and poisons. So,
Jesus.
although we talk a lot about Neptune being the dreams and the psychic faculty and a
Mhm.
fog, it also rules poisons and gases, and
And even
it's under a lot
gasoline.
of aspects right now. So we're seeing
Right.
it manifest in a lot of different ways.
Mhm.
In Also the Netherlands, Bill Gates Foundation's grocery store exploded. So, I'm probably not the person to ask about him. I don't have a high opinion of him at all. And I'm going to try to maintain that rule my mother taught me, that if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. But that foundation is behind the manipulation, the diabolical manipulation of our food chain and things that get put into people's bodies.
Oh, yeah, even
Yes.
down to baby milk.
Well, and he experimented on a lot of Indian children who ultimately died. I meant to make myself a tin hat today because I'm going to
Okay.
kind of be going into some tin hat territory. But the Bill Gates that we're seeing is not Bill Gates. Okay. That's an actor or a clone or a stand in, because the original Bill Gates was actually put to death in India for his crimes against humanity years ago. So these are other sort of Neptunian, um, uh, weird fantasy, reality, back and forth. Who knows what's real? But right. So you've got the what Shabak is pointing out, the Roundup class action suit, and Neptune is a lot more than what we always seem to apply to it is psychic and dreams. And our world is going through so much upheaval and disruption. And also in the United States, Oklahoma, Montana, and Idaho have all had gas explosions recently.
Hmm.
So,
And those were places where he acquired land recently.
right, right. And could be associated to underground tunnel systems for human trafficking.
So, in other words, follow the money.
Right. So, and keep a healthy dose of discernment when you're seeing anything on the mainstream media when they're
Mhm.
talking about some of these characters, because um, I don't know that I do feel like we're not being told the truth, but I'm hoping that through some of these aspects and unfoldments that we're going to be feeling this month and next month, much, much more is going to come to light.
Mhm.
So, let's just keep going with some of this because it's pretty explosive and it is directly associated with alignment of planets. So, this is a good time for me to mention a triple conjunction that's pretty rare. It is Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus, closely holding hands now in the sign of in Taurus, I think I said. So those planets meet in this kind of Uranus North Node conjunction about every 75 years. However, the last time it was in Taurus was in 1855. And I won't bore you with a Civil War history dissertation, but it is very interesting how revolution and freedom and instability that the United States is going through this week is the exact conjunction of the United States charts Pluto to where Pluto is in the heavens. So this is all about regenerating land, major awakening. You could feel sleepless, or you could physically shake. I don't know if anyone has experienced just, trying to relax and unwind, but you might feel like a vibration in your energy, and
Mhm.
so that's connected to increased solar flares and the Schumann resonance. So we're upgrading our DNA, basically, is what is happening, and uh, it will reach a very significant point by October. So between July and October, and mainly July and August, the planets are aligning in such a way that, you know, things are being exposed. People, places, and things. Um, Yellowstone Park, you mentioned to me earlier, it's on
Mhm.
fire. There's an old volcanic bed there that has been rumbling. Um, in Italy, the Vatican City, if you go online, you'll see black smoke just filling the sky. It's about
Mhm.
7 miles outside of the Vatican. So then we've had some attention on Alaska, and the news talking about Russia wants Alaska back. So these elements of,
They're next.
yeah.
It was so funny because my brother wants to, purchase a home, like a cabin in Alaska.
So
So
in the off mainstream media, there's supposedly one of the things coming out, and probably in certain outlets you can find, there's actually films of the military emptying tunnels of children in cages. So Alaska has a big underground trafficking network. Um, and so a lot of things that we may have believed uh, may be different. And I guess I like to kind of bring some of this stuff out for people so that as it does come, you recognize that our world is in a major spiritual awakening.
Mhm.
And this will has been happening for the last couple of years and will continue for a couple of more years. So using your tools, and the one that I think is most important this month and next month is, recognizing how you're breathing. When we're under stress, we tend to hold our breath, or breathe very shallow like. So if something in your neighborhood or area, say a gas line explosion or whatever, or a disruption in your food chain to your grocery store, these kinds of fear porn and panic. The key thing is to, rhythmic, calm breath, because
Mhm.
that affects your whole, um,
Nervous system.
exactly.
Mhm.
And to keep in mind that there are powers at play here that we don't see. Neptune,
Mhm.
behind the curtain, behind the scenes, things are different than what they may appear on our TV. So, to me, one of the really positive events that has happened to prove that better things are coming and are behind the scenes working, even though mainstream media may have us, wanting to be huddled in our closet in our home, fearing the worst.
There's so many narratives that are playing out to kind
Yeah,
of still kinda keep us corralled into, like, limited beliefs, but I
yeah,
feel like it's like the cat is out of the bag. I
yeah.
mean, it's
People
like
are
there's
really, yeah, are really starting to see the actors and the movie. And I think at some point people are just tired of the lies. Give it to us straight. What was that famous scene in A Few Good Men where um, oh, what was that guy's name in Tom Cruise? Nicholas, what's his name? You can't handle the truth. He was a corrupt military
Mhm.
general, and he was on the witness stand, and the people are like, we just want the truth, and he's like, you can't handle the truth. And
Hold on. So BP asked the question, what is a good breathing technique that we can use this month and next? So basically, it's doing deep breath meditation. You can do this in 5 minutes. So you just breathe in and then you breathe out. You could use breathe out with your mouth, but if you want to, really go for that deep breath meditation, breathe through your nose and do it slow and very controlled 21 times.
And
So,
thank you. And your physiology of your body is directly connected to oxygen in your bloodstream. When we're
mhm,
panicked and stressed, we either hold our breath or, you know, a shallow breath. So the
right.
point is deep breaths. I don't know if
Mhm,
anyone had a mother like mine when you felt sick or whatever. She always says, take 3 deep breaths, because
mhm,
oxygen through your bloodstream affects your whole physiology.
mhm.
And that's one of the simplest tools we have that's overlooked. It doesn't cost us anything. And it probably has the biggest benefit of how we can physically feel and emotionally.
Oh,
These are
yeah, for
very
sure.
emotional waters. So anything that helps you feel secure and calm, because a lot of this combination with Uranus will make you feel like your security is being shaken, and to a certain degree, we do need to be shook up, because the direction that our world as a whole has gone into, in terms of food manipulation and human trafficking, is not been a good direction. So the fact that
Mhm.
they would blow up tunnels and try to methodically bring this out, because there's a whole lot of people who would never believe your government does not have your best interest at heart. And even though representatives that you supposedly vote to go do things for you, the money and the power changes them. And there's no
Right.
reason for these people to be in office for 30 and 40 years. I mean, that's just absurd. So that brings us to the next element of election fraud, and that happens in every country. Um, and we're going to see more light brought to that fraud and how it has changed and manipulated leaderships of countries, and
Which
how
we
we,
are seeing. It's kinda like cockroaches are dying left and right.
right. Right. So it's very important to keep a very positive um, thought patterns. When you start feeling scared or insecure, be watchful of your mind, and use your tools. I think getting time away from electronics,
Mhm.
especially if you're hooked to a phone or a computer for your work, take your shoes off, go walk outside on the earth, and really recognize the shifts in energies, because they have been happening. The month of July is extremely intense. And
Well,
so,
I could, like, interject with that because when I'm gonna go on my little vacation, one of the places that I wanted to visit was Red Rocks,
yeah,
and, from what I hear, there's vortex, places where you could
right,
feel the energy, and
right,
so I'm looking forward to feel, like, this vibration, the
right.
and really see what that energy is like in that area, so, yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, being next to a river or the ocean or a pond or a body of water, or in your shower, if no body of water is available, these
Mhm.
energies can be enhanced by water, because our body is water and electricity, basically.
Mhm.
So the big element, the big event that I think should give us all just reason to celebrate and feel totally optimistic that only better times are coming. And that was with the explosion of the Georgia Guidestones. So
Right.
I won't bore you with a long history, but I did do the chart of when they were developed and as compared to when they were exploded. And so some of these energies are more examples of exactly what I've tried to explain in these different events. And it always involves Uranus and the North Node, the moon, um, Pluto, regeneration, and Mars, things disruptive. So when you look at the beginning of that creation, um, it's several miles outside of Atlanta. Uh, a gentleman who wanted to remain anonymous in 1978 and 79 purchased 5 acres of land. Just the fact that they wanted to remain anonymous right there makes it suspicious. And the local people there believed that that was Ted Turner because he had the financial depth to do this. The reason this Elberton, Georgia, was selected is it was believed that that's where the best granite in the world was. So this mysterious gentleman who called himself R.C. Christian approached the local quarry with this blueprint of this monument that he wanted erected. And the story goes that the quarry really didn't want to do this job. That one stone was 25 tons on the top, and they figured that if they gave this person an outrageous cost of doing this monument, they'd go away, and they didn't. It was like $1 million. It was easily paid and erected. And it's like 20 different languages, the 10 commandments of what some would call the deep state or the cabal, or a select few of elite families that want to control the money and population. And it kind of gets cloaked in wording like, reducing population for the betterment of nature, so they were talking about reducing human beings by 80%. The courts in every state and country and jurisdiction to be totally eliminated to where there'd only be one world court. So a lot of the same philosophies of the age-old world domination of a select few to only have enough population to grow and harvest what they need for food. Very diabolical, okay? So there's always been a lot of controversy around this monument, and again, cloaked in mystery. And so at 4 o'clock in the morning on this past Wednesday, I believe, July 6th, it was some kind of explosion, and there's been some debate as to what that was. There's a military tool or weapon called the rods of God, which uses laser to pinpoint a target and explode it. Well, what's so interesting is, the monument was vandalized, and it's not like they came back and tried to repair it. They bulldozed the whole thing down. So, that that is indicative of a society wanting to tear down a system of morals that does not support peace and kindness to one another. It's about manipulation and control. This was referred to as America's Stonehenge at one time. So my point of bringing this up is you may see a story cloaked like it's for your own good, and this is all to make it a better place to live, and you really have to dig behind that narrative to see who's it coming from, what is the real intention. And so I think what's happening these next 2 months specifically is things that we felt were supposed to be good for us, not so much. And that can be hard to accept. So my message to bring all of this, kind of negative crap out is remember your tools, remember your connection to source. Remember to focus on divine light and your divine essence, whether you believe you're from the Pleiadians or another galaxy. We definitely are people from the stars on the earth at this time to maintain a high vibration while some sort of dark energy is purged, and you have to get through the worst before it can get better. So things like videos of children who've been experimented on and kept in cages is a horrendous impression to see on your mind, but sometimes that's what it takes for someone who's kept their head buried in the sand, or the ostrich syndrome, to recognize that this is real. This is not a fantasy movie or not science fiction, that there's a real diabolical energy that has had a place here on the earth that is coming to light and being purged or regenerated. Pluto's going to tear it down for it to rebuild better. So, what's important for all of us is to use these spiritual tools, meditation, yoga, Tai Chi, Reiki healing, journaling. It's different for everyone. So just as you see things unfold, I don't know if anyone here is near Nashville or not, but supposedly yesterday, in the last couple of days, there's been military convoys in Nashville. There's been some real hooky stuff happening in Washington, D.C. So there's just going to be a trigger of events that's going to drip out some of this stuff that is going to be really hard to believe. Over the next 3 weeks, with the aspects to Uranus and Pluto, you might see more suicides. The next 3 weeks are actually being dubbed suicidal weeks in the off mainstream media, because a lot of these high profile people who have been caught with performing crimes against humanity will take themselves out before they would be held accountable in a military tribunal. So Nuremberg 2.0 has been floating out there, same as the crimes against humanity after World War II. This is the same kind of energy, that crimes against humanity have been going on secretly, and a lot of these explosions and disruptions. There is a project called HARP, which is thought to manipulate weather patterns. So when you start seeing, crazy typhoons or earthquakes happen in different regions, now's the time to question, was that really an act of nature or was it manipulated? A lot connected to Antarctica and underground labs and things that can manipulate our weather patterns. So these are all what seemingly at one time seemed like science fiction, or the things that movies were made of, when in actuality, I'm not so sure that they were putting it right in our face all along. So,
yeah, it's just kind of like a cover up or a massaged version
right,
of what was really going on, and they're putting it to us for entertainment.
right.
So it's going back to what you were saying, whatever we thought was fake is real, and whatever is real is fake.
And the Sri Lankan protest where the palace was stormed and that leader was forced out. You had Boris over in London resign. So when you start seeing leaders of countries mysteriously die, or
Step down.
get the vid or whatever. That's another language for they've been connected to a dark ring of human trafficking and manipulation. And it's there you go, MK Ultra. That is exactly right. I feel so honored and blessed to be part of your community, Scorpio Moon, and your viewers, because we're the army. We are the spiritual light workers that need each other to support through the darkness, because it can get feeling lonesome. Like, if you live isolated and everyone around you is brainwashed to believe everything they see, then you're looked at like it brings back sort of that energy to me of witch hunts and the Salem witch trials, which I think we probably had a lifetime or two there.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I remember that back in my previous lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, what? You too? Yeah.
So, Mars is the warrior, and Eros, the asteroid, is the same kind of energy. And they are making a 90-degree square and have been for 2 years. It's squared also Pluto at like June 27th. So Mars Pluto is street fights and defending freedom and power struggles. So where this is an age old theme in history
It's like
where
it is repeating itself.
it is. And that's saying that you have to look at history to know the future. And another thing that I offer up as a way to feel comfort, because this is difficult energy. So I like to try to at least bring some kind of viable information to help us feel better and have better days and feel uplifted and optimistic about our future. And that is every generation has worried about
Death, famine,
nuclear holocaust, crash of financial markets,
genocide.
so this is not new. It's new to our generation maybe, but another thing that I have always found helpful, if you speak to older generations, like people who would be in their 80s or 90s right now, and just listen to how they reflect about their life several decades ago, that will give you that sense of, just keep it between the lines, just keep your breath good, keep your diet as cleaned up as you can, sleep, nourishment, the basics. This is where we,
And even then, they weren't fully nourished,
right,
but I really feel like the strong did survive,
right,
and they did survive it, to tell the story.
right.
So, you have to really stay positive in a sense, but not be like in La La Land about it at the same time too. Just kind of like being awareness of it, and just go with the flow.
That's right. That's right. And so yes, let's see, today, this is the 12th. So today, transiting Pluto is holding hands with the Pluto in the United States chart. And that happened the first time in February and now in July. And it will have one more pass when Pluto stations to go direct in December. And this is a major definition of the United States, clarifying who and what we are as a country. I studied a lot in Europe, astrology in the Greek islands and throughout England. And European astrologers are definitely more about history than here in America. We've always sort of had the entertainment columns, what's in your stars, what's your sign, whereas older countries, and I'm not knocking that. I mean, we're a
Right,
country compared to older countries, but that's where that cycle of history gets applied to current day. And
Mhm.
again, those Pluto influences are about our values. What do we think is important? I think we're going to start seeing a coming full circle about marriage and relationships, because we've been going through, I'd say, a decade or so of, free love, open relationships, no
Mhm.
judgment if you cheat on your spouse, and anything goes kind of
Mhm.
energy. And I think that we're going to start seeing people, young people, reverting more to traditional values like, yes, I want to get married. I want to have children. I want to have a stable home. I want
Right.
good education for my, so we've kind
Well,
of been,
I can really, attest to that because I have 2 young boys in their early 20s, and, my son, he wants to go to college. He wants to, make do with himself. Once he's, situated, then he will think about love and,
right,
all this and that. So he's not in a hurry to, procreate or, have like a family right off the bat. But, and I really feel like he's seen this through, his upbringing through myself. Also, his, kind of interpretation of what love and family and relationships are. And he's realizing that, and I definitely do see a big change that it's back to basics, you
right.
know?
I
Children
think
these
that,
days, they're not, I mean, I know there's a lot of children that actually have sex, at a young age. It's still apparent, but there's still a good number of them who are abstaining.
right. Well, you know, we had to go through what we've been through to see that there are alternatives or other ways to grow as a community and as humanity.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean about, sometimes you just have to see the worst in order to snap out of whatever fog you're in.
Mhm.
And definitely, it is a great awakening happening all over the world, no matter what country or language you are. This need for freedom and expression and not being enslaved by a tyrannical few to control your money and how much water you have every day.
Right.
There's really a busting of the seams, which is great, but we have to kind of go through this difficult part and keep pushing and keep
Mhm.
standing up for freedom and keep standing up for individual human rights, so that um, we can't give in. And uh, so also with interestingly enough, that those Pluto transits is to do with geography. So, we have seen for the United States in the news, Texas wants to secede.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Russia
It's
wants
like parts
Alaska.
of the United States are like, like going in different directions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we also, that's another thing we forget about Pluto, is the geography part of it. And
Mhm. I wonder if the United States is going to, like, separate. Do you feel that that could be
no,
a potential?
I think that everything has to be pulled apart and root out the corruption, but the overall fabric of the Constitution is stable. So, another interesting little history tidbit on that is, so we in America celebrate July 4th as the
Mhm.
Declaration of Independence, when, we as a young, small country decided we didn't want the crown or
Right, it's freedom
London to
from
control us.
right.
So, what to dig that a little deeper about what that means is, when the Declaration of Independence was written, that was like a warrant to be served on the crown. So that warrant was not actually served on London until August the 10th. So a lot of alternative news outlets seem to feel like between July 17th and August 10th, and specifically August 10th, that we're going to see a huge exposure of a lot of this corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And where it's like you said, different channels and different narratives, that we're going to start seeing more cohesion and everybody getting on the same page about, uh, those politicians in DC who have been, manipulating the stock market and lining their own pockets for their own good,
They're like
come
Nancy
to
Pelosi.
justice. Yeah, insider trading. It's so that's another point to make.
Well, let me ask you this, and I know this is an off the, wall question. What about Martha Stewart?
Well,
She served, right? She
we
she
can
paid her
certainly
dues.
do. I did her chart a long time ago when that
Oh,
happened, and I will dig it out for us to look at another time. But wasn't that interesting that she was somewhat made the example of in
right.
it?
Like she was like the sacrifice, right?
Right, right,
Wow. Like
right, right, right.
it's
Interesting.
it was. I mean, honestly, I felt the same way at my company. I used to work for a corporate, company, and I was the one that was doing freelancing on the side, and everybody else was doing it. But they picked me, okay, to be like the one to kind of be the example. Like, no, you don't do this, you know? I'm like, why me? Is it because like my business looks like it's the most professional? Like, but
Yeah.
I get that. I mean, yeah, I feel it.
And it's usually because your light is too intense for lower vibrations to handle. So they do anything they can to try to
They
bring you
squash it.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an envy there, a diabolical negative vibration that is, again, what we're fighting to overthrow and rebel from. Um, on the subject of the Constitution, and it's the last comment I'll make on the Constitution right now, it's just go and look into it about what it means to be under devolution. And I believe with all my heart that is what we are experiencing.
Okay.
So we have the overall themes for this energy is basically, deciding what is your service to humanity. If
Mhm.
you've been in service to yourself and your career and somewhat dialed into that corporate ladder, um, the energy is shifting to be more of communal fellowship.
Mhm.
What have you learned through that experience to share with children and stubborn family members that think that you're crazy for some of your philosophies or the spiritual metaphysical types of things. And
Mhm.
the worldview changing, um, military tribunals are being filmed. We will see them. Um, there is just a whole dramatic times, but it's going to equal getting to a place of peace and simplifying our life. And again, it's sort of a beginning of a love revolution, is what I've heard it put as you know, and anytime, the ego is threatened by love, what does it do? It plays all kinds of head games and, negative talk, whether you're talking about a new romantic relationship. Let's shift to romance for a minute, because I know all this worldview crap just gets overwhelming and kind of
Mhm.
depressing. But so let's
No, love makes the world go round.
that's right. That's right. And so say you meet someone new and you feel chemistry and um, uh, the ego pretty much wants to be in control. And so what will it do? It'll feed in your head like, oh, they wouldn't want to be with me, or oh, they're with somebody, they're happy, it couldn't happen. So the ego will feed your mind a lot of negative, you're not good enough, this would never work kinds of language. And we're in that shift of, you know if it's your, claim it if it's yours. If you feel sincerely resonant with that person or whatever, you know, then think positive and tell the ego to go sit in the corner for a little while. Whether you're job hunting, you know, same concept. Positive thinking, you co-create your reality. So if you're thinking negative about a situation, then you're going to create it. So try to,
Mm-hmm.
as best possible, when you're doing your breathing exercises or meditation, do positive affirmations. They've been proven to affect your outcomes. So
Mm-hmm.
it's also a time in our society of following your heart and not your head. So I think that's also been another age old, you know, do you do what's practical and rational in your head, or do you follow your heart, which may seem, you know, like totally a diverted path from what society would dictate you do. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, say your family wants you to go study, you know, one kind of very practical, responsible degree at college, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
go, you know, do
Art.
yeah, yeah, something totally different than what others would have you do. So this is about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, tuning into your heart, and when you meditate and do some of these very simple tools, it becomes easier to hear your heart and know what's right for you. And it also becomes easier to gently and with love tell, you know, a mother or a father or aunt or uncle or grandmother or whoever is trying to control what you do, you know, with love and in a peaceful way. You know, I appreciate your input. I appreciate how much you care for me, but with all my heart, this is what I have to do for me. And generally, people respect that and eventually come around to support that. So, and just on a final note, we have the new moon at 5 degrees Leo on July 28th, and that is the same day as Jupiter stationing retrograde. And Jupiter will stay retrograde until Thanksgiving here in America is November 23rd.
Wow.
So,
So, like, are things going to slow down at that point? Like,
no, I think that with Jupiter retrograde, uh, that's about expansion and opportunity. So say you're
mm-hmm.
going to put an addition on your house. Well, you might have some delays with getting the contractor you want to use, or you might have a job promotion that's in the pipeline, but that opportunity is held up with red tape to get all the paperwork lined up for you making that move. Or so it's retrograde is mainly about delays. It's not so much putting a kaputz on something. And Jupiter is about travel, so you may have, and foreign people, foreign countries. So it may be a delay of a trip to a foreign country. It may be a delay in the class schedule that you've signed up to learn a foreign language. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
for foreign exchange students, you know, it might be, you know, you're here with your a family sponsoring you, and your time gets extended. So it can manifest in a lot of different ways.
So, what's
It's
the cutoff date? That's at the end of July 28th.
uh, Jupiter is retrograde from July 28th to November
Until
23rd.
Okay, so guys, whatever you need to do, do it now. Don't delay. Don't procrastinate.
And then there's always the balance of energy, because a new moon would say, you know, start a new project or start something new. So,
Mhm. Oh, is that
again,
on the day of the new moon?
yes,
Oh,
in Leo.
wow.
Yeah.
So
So,
it's like, is that like a conundrum? Like you start, but then it's like you can't get
right.
it off the ground?
It's another one of life's contradictions.
Ah, wow. So it just seems like the rest of the year, it's more of, like I said earlier in a previous live, it's more transitory. Like we're in transition. We just have to get
Absolutely.
through like this
Absolutely.
year. It's not going to be like the best year, but we all have to kind of go through the bad to get to
You
the
have to
good.
see for your own eyes just how diabolical and manipulated
Mm-hmm.
people, places, and money can be before you're willing to do your part, your service to humanity, to bring people out of the dark or out of the fog, or take a loved one's hand and take them to an AA meeting to get them out of the bottle, uh, taking a teenager to camp who's addicted to meth. You know what, the whole stew or mixture of planets equals what is your service to humanity? What are
Mm-hmm.
you here to do to contribute on the whole? And it can be something just like that, taking a loved one into rehab. Um, uh, it's going to play out different for everyone, and it can
Right.
be very small contributions to very large, monetary donations. To you have the money to build a wing onto a hospital that treats cancer or something. So
Right. And then if you guys are interested, you can always book that reading with Sunny and she could look into it for you guys, you know.
certainly for this, let's see, is it 18 degrees? Let's see, what was 18 degrees? That triple conjunction at 18 degrees, looking in your chart for what planets are 18 degrees of cardinal signs would give you a flavor of personally how it's going to affect you. And if you need to
Mhm.
know that, certainly I can do your chart and go over that with you. And the cardinal signs are Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer. So if you have anything in those signs near or about within 5 degrees of 18, whatever house that's in is going to tell you what you're dealing with.
I can't remember what degree my Capricorn is in.
I want
Hmm.
to say it's the early degrees, because you're
Is
early
it?
in the, well, yeah, you're early in the cycle of Cap.
Hmm.
We'll look it up.
Okay, yes, definitely.
And that's something that's going to be, it's been with us and it will continue with us through the remainder of this year. So we have these moon phases that sort of dance with already aspects that have been playing and triggering certain points. That Saturn Pluto conjunction from 2020 that sort of set off this whole sort of ball of
Events.
awakening. Uh,
Yeah.
so, there'll
It's
be
still
trigger points.
unfolding.
Yes, there are trigger points that get to that degree by other aspects that bring back those familiar uh, patterns, people,
And
the
it's kind of ironic that you brought that up because if we're looking at it on the twin flame side, that is where a majority of the twins went into separation from their, let's say, so-called divine counterparts. And the masculine energy, has chosen a karmic partner to kind of live out their karma during this time. So they're actually learning their karmic lessons, whereas the feminine energy is we'll call them the awakened ones, who is more spiritual in nature, who is a good understanding of the stuff that is going on the planet. And most of the feminines are actually going into mission to do mission work, to do their part to raise the vibration or the consciousness of the planet in regards to love. And whereas the masculine energy, they were still like kind of, maybe they're kind of playing catch up at this time. I really feel like they know that they're at a place where they're missing something, and it's that divine love.
the
And
ultimate twin flame point, whether you're with a physical person or not, is the
mhm,
balance of your own masculine and feminine energy within yourself. So
right.
another way of saying that is the masculine has kind of been forced to figure out their feminine energy, and the
Mhm.
feminine has been forced to look at their masculine energy, and somewhere in the mix there find balance with where, whether you're with someone or not, you're content, at peace, and have a
And I
mission.
think that a majority back in 2020 or 2019, around that time, um, feminines were actually more masculine. And that's where the disconnect was. And so feminines were sitting here like, well, they don't understand. They could have been more controlling, or, wanted to paint some sort of narrative, or whatever reason.
Well,
Um,
all of these like Pluto, Uranus, Mars transits, you know, that is breaking up these traditional thought patterns, such as the man is brought up to protect and provide, and women are submissive, and
no, I think it's role reversal, because now it
yeah,
seems like feminines are the ones that are doing the man jobs,
well,
like.
and that is what's happening within society, is a breakup or a deconstruction of mores. And
Mhm.
there is like messiness with all of that change. And uh, it really, to me, the key is having your personal spiritual practices, tools, whatever it is for you, because there's not a blanket answer. The one thing that is consistent is if you're holding your breath or breathing shallow, the
Mhm.
physiology of your body is going to be out of balance. So, if nothing else, learning to pay
Meditate.
attention to your breath, and are you
Mhm.
breathing rhythmically, and the ego. So when you're, hearing negative thought patterns or feeling negative, being more watchful of your mind's thoughts instead of reactive to, what you're telling yourself. So self-talk, self-love, and breath are really, all of that's free. You don't need any money to figure that out. And so
Right.
I think that's really important through these days, because there's still more to come. And I think, if you want to go with we manifest what's outside of us, when you look at what's going on around the world, it's rebellion, it's explosions and earthquakes. And so think about that on your energetic subconscious level and your magnetic fields around you. That's, a rebellious explosion. I know that around the legal field, there was a huge increase in divorces with the lockdowns of the I
COVID.
can't, yeah, I can't even call it what they want to call it, but people
Oh.
being forced to be with each other all the time and not escape through their, hobbies and other friendships and stuff, but actually under the same roof dealing with the person they've been married to. There was a huge escalation in divorce petitions filed, and
Mhm.
so that kind of is, again, what what we manifest, what's inside manifesting outside, is we're being forced to, look at our wounds. What in your childhood has affected your adult relationships? Taking accountability that it's not anybody's fault. We all have to take ownership of decisions we've made, Saturn, ability to respond. And that is growing pains. It's about maturity and
Right.
taking your head out of the sand, and
Mhm.
not being afraid. And the narrative from mainstream outlets is to make you scared and keep you locked in that fear. So we're breaking loose of those metaphorical chains in society that have kept us with a mindset of what you're supposed to be and do, which has not been the truth. And so the truth will set you free is the motto.
I would say that because recently I've been reading some articles here locally, and there were shootings and stuff like that. And I just took my son to the barber shop, and the guy told me, he says, well, he has another shop in that location, and it's a safe spot. But the media paints it like it's, like a bad part of town, and the media is painting a narrative. So that goes to show you that the media is really trying to control like your emotions off
And,
of
if you wanted to just study wars over the
mhm,
years, media has,
propaganda.
yeah. And so, what is human nature when they hear something like that to just, I don't want to deal with it. Men and women in bad relationships, I don't want to deal with it. So
Mhm.
these energies are going to make us deal with it. They are making us deal with it. If
Right.
you're in one of these areas where there's been an explosion or a horrible storm, you're dealing with it.
Mhm.
And so, all in all, if we can just keep a hold of that excitement, yay, finally, we're going to see the truth. We're going to be real. We're going to be authentic. And depending on how dense of a web you've woven in your life that's gotten away from your authentic self will determine how difficult your days are, right?
Mhm.
So, again, breaking it down to simple things is key. Simple things: nourishment, your breath, rest. Uh, Call it out when you see it. If somebody in your friends circle is always manipulating or gossiping or creating drama, call it out.
Mhm.
Walk away from it. You don't need that. You don't deserve that. What in
Mhm.
your reality thinks you deserve to be manipulated or abused, or, because in these days and times, even with domestic violence, there are lots of ways to get out. You just have to be brave. You just have to find the warrior within yourself to fight whatever the demon is that's been
I
holding
mean,
you
that
back.
could have been years of manipulation, of feeling like, you're not worthy or feeling so
And
bad, and
seeing that,
depression
yeah,
could
that's how your
actually kick
mom
in.
did, or that's how your dad did. I mean, it's these generational patterns that, we really have to strive to break. Where
Mhm.
our DNA is being upgraded by the changes in the electrical energy, and with that comes a whole different mindset about, um, there's a whole trend of men and women who do want to be single rather than being in a toxic relationship.
Mhm.
And whereas probably in past decades, it was all about hooking up.
Mhm.
You're expected to be a couple, and now it's more of people have had bad relationship problems, and make that value system determination that, you know I'm content and I can take care of myself, and I'd rather do that until I meet someone that's on the same page or the same vibration or the same goals,
Right.
a helpmate, not someone who's, you know, controlling or envious or jealous. I just don't understand a lot of
Well,
the,
I think before that happens, there was, like, manipulation or a portrayal of a certain characteristic, and maybe you took the bait or something, and then once you
and,
got locked in, then you
and
saw the true colors.
we're going to keep it real. Drugs and alcohol play a lot into that.
Mhm.
Social circles that spend their life planning the next party or waiting till the weekend to get buzzed up affects your human relationships and whether or not they're healthy.
Right.
And I don't mean to be a buzzkill about that. I've been around a lot of drugs and alcohol abuse my whole life. And I just can tell you from many readings of people in bad relationships, there's usually an addiction.
Mhm.
Gambling, sex.
I actually, have done SRT with a group of people, and usually the ones who have these spirit attachments are people who abuse drugs and alcohol. It's like it put holes in their auric field, and it's not good.
And I don't know
So
in anyone else's environments, but in my region, it just seems like every corner either has a liquor store or a vape store. And it just is all about anesthetize, just keep the masses
well,
anesthetized so they don't see what's really going on.
Well, I got head shops around here all over, and then the liquor cabinets open at the grocery store whenever you want it.
It's just amazing to me. It's just amazing the focus on staying numb.
hmm I
And
guess there is a point to dry counties, back on the East Coast, from what I remember, in the Bible Belt.
yeah,
They have the liquor. They had something at least, going on
it's
there.
interesting though, on so many levels. There's so many levels of this, from your personal, day-to-day life to the global events unfolding. And it's exciting. It really is exciting. So don't let fear, get you, hold you back. If you're afraid of
Yeah.
something, face it head on. On the other side of that disclosure or whatever, you'll feel lighter and evolve, emotionally, and mature.
Yeah, and I would think that, you could mute that energy into love, you know,
Yeah,
instead of being in fear, just really, be in a state of love. And I know that it could be very difficult to think about, but think about the positive stuff,
yeah.
you know?
There's a
You
lot
have
of,
to really be strong-minded
yeah.
to do that. Like
And
a Capricorn. I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
sorry, I had to put
Get
that
to
in
that
there.
top of the mountain.
Yeah, we're up there. It might be a little too airy, but we're up there.
So I pulled out the medicine cards because a lot of my dreams lately have had animals, and
Okay.
these always have symbology. And
And
you
I
have
have the Spirit Animal Oracle.
oracles. So
hmm
we'll do a little, one or two thoughts for each sign and this Capricorn supermoon. And
Okay.
maybe it will help people make a decision or figure out what they want to do for the next couple of weeks if they're feeling stressed out about anything.
All right. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to reorganize all of my zodiacs so I go in order because they're all over the place. So before we begin, can you tell me really quickly? It goes Aries, then who's after Aries?
Taurus,
Okay. Taurus. Okay.
Gemini,
Gemini.
Cancer,
Cancer.
Leo,
Leo.
Virgo,
Virgo.
Libra,
Libra.
Scorpio,
Scorpio.
Sagittarius,
Sag.
Capricorn,
Capricorn.
Aquarius.
Aquarius and Pisces and Virgo came out of place. Virgo, where do you belong? Jesus. You go
So,
after Leo.
right, between Leo and Libra.
Okay, the two L's.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Aries. All right, so Aries, what do you need to know around this full moon in Capricorn? Hopefully, you're not going to run away from your responsibilities, right?
Oh,
A
I got a
horse.
horse,
Okay.
which is the symbol of power. Horse is what brought mankind to be able to move
And
around.
I have a bat. A rebirth is assured.
So, yeah, this is very Pluto energy, uh, power and rebirth.
Mm-hmm. So I guess there is some sort of change that's going on through Aries at this time. So there's a sense of renewal, and maybe it's that time to do it. But we're at an ending of a cycle, so maybe it's going to give you some ideas to do something about it.
Well, and, Mars is doing a lot of aspects which rules Aries. So Aries may find themselves setting strong boundaries. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I
So
want to
not being
say,
as carefree.
kicking ass and taking names.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it.
yeah.
Okay. So next we have Taurus.
Taurus, Oh, crow medicine.
Hmm. I have squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself.
Crow is the energy that has information. They bring messengers from the other side. The law. Whoops. That was so. It's about fascination with their own shadow. So this is facing your fears.
Yeah, and I see here believe in yourself. I see a squirrel that has a little acorn and it's sitting on a big acorn. Maybe Taurus, you didn't believe that you were feeling secure in a situation. And maybe you're coming to light with some sort of information because we are into a full moon.
Yeah.
And whatever that you have, I feel that you have what you need already. So don't feel like you're without or lack. You have to really believe in yourself. So pay attention to the signs, is what I'm getting with that.
I have a
Also,
wonderful story about crow. I don't know if it'll help with Taurus or not.
okay.
Um, so part of my work is Medicare and visiting seniors to go over their Medicare insurance. And I was visiting one of my clients and getting out of my car, this crow kept trying to like come at me. It was like on the roof of my car and then trying to get on me. And I was like freaking out. And the couple were at the door and the guy comes out with an umbrella, he trying to like escort me to the house or whatever. And the whole time, this crow is like um, trying to get to my shoulder. And it ends up, it was a pet crow. His name was Baldwin. Yeah.
Oh,
And I had these like rhinestone earrings on. Crows love sparkly things. So, and
oh,
Taurus loves refined, luxurious items. So one of my thoughts was, Taurus, go buy yourself some bling. Crows love things that are shiny. And then,
yeah.
once I got in and they had this little place for him on the on the back, and he could come into the house when it was cold at night. And he was fascinating to watch. So crows are very intelligent and usually bring some kind of message from maybe a loved one on the other side, some believe.
So do you think that that crow had some good taste?
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
for
saying.
once. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. So next we have Gemini.
Yes. Oh, so we have
Ooh.
dragonfly.
Oh, interesting.
This
And
one
I
is,
have okay, we have eagle spirit.
oh, similar.
Hmm.
So, dragonfly, the iridescence of their wings is all about dream state. So, again, looking to your dreams for information when you go to sleep. Gemini, you're the messenger. And so you can call on dragonfly to bring you information. And it also may be a reminder for some Geminis to be the messenger or something that needs to be expressed. It's about illusion. And this is very Neptunian kind of energy and seeing beyond um, 3D.
Yeah, and I see that is possibly gained through, gaining access to their higher self or through spirit. I really also feel like a Gemini, you're in a state of duality in regards to third party situations. And during this time, just, use this time to really think of what is coming to you in your thoughts, kind of journal them and see what comes through, kind of like automatic writing is what I'm feeling. So breaking out a journal and just writing down those things that come to mind and see what comes through. That is the feeling I'm getting with that.
And also, dragonfly represents the winds of change.
Mhm.
So, being flexible and willing to see other things from another perspective. instead of getting paralyzed by, fear or indecision.
Yeah, and and this is kind of strange, but the correlation that I saw is that this eagle could actually eat this little dragonfly. You know what I mean?
Eat the
So,
dragonfly.
I mean, I don't know, like
You're
that's a
right. You're
Scorpio in me. Like
right.
I think
Eagles do
about the
probably eat
worst.
a
Yeah,
dragonfly.
like, that looks tasty. But whatever that you're thinking, okay, just just be mindful of your thoughts, like
Yeah.
myself, and really see where is that coming from? Like, why are you thinking like that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. That was great. The
I know.
eagle eats the dragonfly. And it's the circle of life.
Yeah, that's karma. So, next we have Cancer. I've
Well,
been
not
getting a lot of Cancer energy lately. Snake, very interesting.
um well, not my favorite animal at all, but
And it looks like a rattlesnake
I
too.
know, with eggs. So it's a mother snake.
And I have here Sandpiper Spirit. Be playful.
So does that snake eat the sandpiper?
I know, right? Yeah. So, what I'm getting with this, Cancer, is that you need to be a little bit more playful. There might be some change that's going on, and you may not be able to handle that sort of change. The other thing I'm also feeling is that maybe you're afraid of changing. Maybe you've been in your shell. Maybe you need to go out and play. There is water energy here. Maybe you need to go out near a body of water to get in tune with your energy around this time is what I'm feeling. This is also in regard to like your love, your connections to people that you love, or what do you love about yourself, or maybe you need to connect with those things that you need to like reacquaint yourself with when it comes to love. Like, what are the things that you love to do? I really feel like you need to enjoy yourself more. And I feel also because of the snake spirit that's here, it could be because of a third party situation. Don't let it get to you. Okay. I feel like if you have a karmic partner in your life, that person may have children. I do see her eggs. So maybe a karmic is pregnant with, your person of interest. Just let it go. Be accepting of it. That's
And
what
in
I'm
this
seeing.
deck, it represents transmutation. So a
Okay.
snake sheds its skin
Mhm.
and grows. This is about remembering that you're part of you are a universal being, constantly growing. It's a very spiritual energy that represents Kundalini, or the life force within your body. So break
Mhm.
a sweat, get out there and get any stuck blocks in your subconscious moving through exercise. Certainly, you know, a um, sweat lodge is very snake energy. Um, it also reminds us of the life, death, life cycle in all things.
So kinda like a regeneration,
Right.
going through that transformative
It also
energy.
can transmute poisons. Um,
Hmm.
so, for cancer people, it's hard for them to let go of um, toxic people, especially if they're
Mhm.
family. And it's very important that, regardless of family or not, that you don't get poisoned by other people close to you.
So kind of like let up a little bit and let loose and just
Yeah,
kind of
the life, death, life cycle in all things. And,
mhm.
we're here with family that we've traveled with many lifetimes. So everybody has free will to decide how they want to do their path. And, if you have family that, say, is a heroin addict, putting poison into their body, just because you're loving and nurturing cancer doesn't mean you have to stick around to be a victim to that. A snake sheds its skin and keeps moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
don't make it your personal issue.
right.
Also,
That's hard for Cancer, especially, when it's family.
right. Okay, so next is
Cancer's kind of
Leo.
been going through a rough time anyway,
No,
just,
I've actually been feeling that because I've been getting a lot of Cancer people booking readings with me,
yeah,
and I'm definitely seeing that they're going through a lot this time.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Oh,
So here we are. Here's Leo.
here's Leo, and I got the
Leo.
mountain lion.
Oh, look at that.
Let's see. So Leo for the full moon is pretty much in their element. They're not afraid of much. They're very courageous. They will walk off the cliff, not knowing what's down there.
Yeah, and I also have here Bat Spirit, a rebirth is assured. So maybe you're going through like
This
kind
is
of like,
leadership. So leading people into a rebirth or going ahead of the others, so to speak.
I also see that there's a lot of change that's going on with my Leos this time. But fear not, things are going to work out, is what I'm hearing. There's new stuff, new energies that are coming towards you. You just have to look at things from a different perspective. Hence, I see here this upside down bat. You know, it reminds me of the hangman. So, and also, I have a feeling like when you do this and you're seeing something more from within and outside of yourself. Maybe you didn't feel like you had what it takes to be a leader, but I really feel like it's there's something positive coming out of this for sure.
The thing about leadership is not being concerned as to whether or not anybody follows.
That's actually a good thing, and you know, I feel like it's really synonymous with the whole Capricorn moon too. So it like the Capricorn is backing the Leo this time is what I'm feeling.
And it also really rules the heart and kind of reemphasizes what we were talking about. Listen to your heart, follow your
Mhm.
heart.
Not your head.
Ego, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Leo's, I am a Leo, and I can feel like I've been really lots of irons in the fire, um, taking my power to control what happens to me and not being the victim of what other people do to me,
Mhm.
and just power through it, just
You got this.
hear me roar. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
sure.
So next we have Virgo.
Oh, so I got the antelope.
Oh, that's kind of ironic. My brother wanted to take me out to a place called Antelope
Oh,
Cave or Cavern. It's beautiful. It's in Arizona.
so this represents action. They're very fast.
Oh yeah, they do run fast, don't they? Huh. So I have here Dove Spirit, be peace.
It's somewhat of a sacrificial energy too, because when antelope spirit saw man naked and starving, they would sacrifice themselves to provide nourishment and food, and their furs would provide warmth and clothing. So there's somewhat of a sacrificial energy to this.
And I guess Virgo, you're in acceptance of this. That's kind of hard. It's very hard energy also that I'm feeling coming from Virgo. Um I feel like Virgo, you had to make a decision to have like a new beginning. So for you, I feel like there is something new in regards to work or maybe relationships. Um,
Antelope also taught man to only take as much as they need. Um,
mhm.
Native Americans own, they would use every single part of the animal that they would hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the degradations of um, um, colonialists, or those that came and took land from the Indians, they were wasteful. They would hunt and kill and only take certain parts of the animals. So
Mm-hmm.
antelope is about teaching man, um, somewhat like Virgo, the efficiency, or separating the wheat from the chaff, and you know using what they need without waste.
Right. I really feel like, I don't know, maybe just being more mindful of spending is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Maybe Virgo, you're going through a hard time, maybe going through hard times, and you're being more inventive or creative about your resources.
And
Um,
remembering that you are the power.
mhm. I'm also getting that maybe they feel like, it was never enough, or they couldn't reach that state of perfectionism, and they're actually being at peace and being thankful for what they have,
Yeah.
accepting, it is what it is, and this is what they have, and they're okay with it. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, it's good, right? Good news.
Yeah.
So next we have Libra.
Libra. Can I get the elk card?
Oh, the bigger, beefier
Yeah.
one. Like, uh,
I've got to kind of remember the keywords on some of these. I haven't looked at them in a long time.
oh,
So
you're
this is about
fine.
stamina.
Okay. So I see dolphin spirit. This and that are true. So maybe it's true that you are tougher than you think you are. Um, Maybe you're in a state of duality, and you're following your higher self or your intuition about making a decision. I feel like you're kind of in limbo, very much like you're trying to find a balance within yourself.
This is
Um,
also a warrior energy.
mhm. Yeah, maybe that you don't know if you're strong, but you really are.
This is also about brotherhood and sisterhood, right?
Hmm. Maybe Libra, maybe you're not very secure in your thoughts, and you keep teeter-tottering around the idea of maybe what's true or not.
So Libra is very social, and this represents, you know, getting over any kind of jealousy, or um, with friend, recognizing the value of friendship.
Mhm.
So this full moon, Libra probably should do something with a group of friends, and lighthearted and social. Let
Yeah,
go of any grudges.
I would say so. Yeah, I think Libra maybe thinks too much. Just go
Yeah,
out and have some fun.
yeah,
You got this. You're secure. There's nothing that you should be worried about from what I can feel. I think that now's the time that if you've really worked really hard around this time, you know, um, just enjoy yourself.
right.
Yeah. Stop thinking too much or over analyzing. Like, should you?
Procrastinating to figure out what's fair. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So next we have Scorpio.
Ah, so in the medicine cards, you're given these blank ones to make your own. And this is
Okay.
one that I made myself a long time ago. And the
Oh,
elephant to me is about stamping out the blockages in your path.
okay. What comes to mind to me is Ganesha,
Yeah.
which is the deity of abundance. And look at this. We have Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around.
So Scorpio, you're doing good.
Yeah, so
You're going on vacation.
yeah, I know, right? Um, do you hear that? There's the lawnmower guy again. Can you hear that?
I can't.
Okay, I do. It's really loud here. So I really feel that you could be hearing like songs on the radio that love is all around. And if you actually just look up or go out somewhere, I mean, love might find you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the blockages may be your own self doubt or your own low self esteem.
Yeah, you need to cut that out, and maybe you'll meet that one true love.
Scorpios have a hard time trusting when it comes to love.
Yeah, I really sense the fear. Like maybe you fear that, nobody loves you or that special someone doesn't love you, but you really have to believe that, you know, that they do, and if you don't believe that they do, then maybe there's that person isn't for you, or maybe there's someone that does, you know.
And
But
recognizing that until you love yourself genuinely, it's not a healthy love to be had anyway.
right. I really feel like, putting on a good love song would actually help change your vibe, change
Yeah.
the mood. It would be
Or
kind
some
of
dance
ironic
music.
that if you like, stop watching this and then you see like a song pop up, what is the next song that comes up on under your radar, and see if you get a message out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Music.
So next we have Sagittarius.
Oh, one of my favorites, spider.
Oh yeah.
So
And
spider represents communication, and it was the spider that brought the alphabet to man by spelling out the first letters in their web. So this is always about communication. When you see a spider, there's something you need to communicate, or you'll be receiving a communication.
okay. Also I have here Peacock Spirit, and it says let it shine.
You know,
Um
all those eyes on the peacock can also represent your spirit guides, and all eyes are on you. You're
mhm.
protected, and you know, reconnecting with your spirituality if you've been letting it slip.
I'm also feeling like they need to show the world, themselves, and really open themselves up to love. Really show people that you're available.
Yeah. Communication.
hmm I
Write a
really feel
love
like,
letter.
yeah, I really feel like there are people of your past that you're actually thinking about. You're actually in a very stable position right now, but there is some change that's actually going on. From what I can feel, I feel like money is looking good, communication is looking good. Also, if you're receiving any kind of like telepathic communication with a particular person that you've been thinking about, let it shine. I really feel like if you feel called to, really communicate to them. That's what I'm seeing with that. Anything else you're feeling on your side?
Yeah. Communicate.
Oh,
Communicate, communicate, communicate.
all right. All right. So next we have Capricorn. All right.
Capricorn and a Capricorn full moon.
Cappy, what is going on? Let it be great.
Capricorn, take a break, relax.
I'm having a hard time. There
Oops.
was a lovely lady from Australia. She follows me and she's like, leave your cards at home. And I'm like, what? Like, I want to just take mine.
I get fox.
Oh, look at this. I have owl spirit.
Oh,
Yeah, you see clearly now. Interesting. Um,
fox is about camouflage.
it could also be about deception, right? In it.
Right. They are like a chameleon. They can change their fur during winter,
Mm-hmm.
the color of their fur. They're the protector of the family unit. So um, Capricorn, protector, the family unit, owl. There's some sort of wisdom within the family. Keep thinking about, the elders in a family and spending more time with them over the full moon to hear their stories and
Oh
get some
boy.
sort of wisdom. This is also more about being flexible, being able to run with the wind. Um,
What I'm getting with this is that Capricorn, you're gonna see the truth about a situation that was hidden from you, but you're gonna take it with maturity. You're actually really grounded from what I can feel, and when it comes to like a situation outside of yourself, you see the positive, okay, the spiritual message about the deception or something that you didn't see before. So I really feel like it's kind of like, okay, you've uncovered some information, you see the truth now, and you're in acceptance. So I really feel like something is going to be illuminated to Capricorns around this moon.
they're very stealthy. Maybe it's a time to observe and not act. Like
Mm-hmm.
kind of observe the situation before you take action.
All right. No, yeah, it's something like late at night under the full moon. Maybe something will come towards you. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Oh, you can jam in with your
Phone call.
instructions.
Communication.
Yeah. Do 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 do. Who is it?
Capricorn might be getting a phone call.
Oh, I don't know. So next we have Aquarius. All
Oh,
right.
love this. Whales.
Whale. Oh, okay.
Whales represent the record keeper.
Interesting.
They're like a swimming library. They carry the history of Mother Earth and is said to have placed here by the ancients for the dog star Sirius.
Okay. And I also have here Ant Spirit. It's time to collaborate. So maybe you need to work on building relationships with other people. Maybe you've lost that sense of camaraderie, teamwork. Maybe you've been alone trying to deal with your own issues, but really try not to do it yourself. Really, really find help from other people, is what I'm getting. So,
So interesting, we brought up DNA upgrade earlier in our chat because whale represents DNA vibration. So Aquarius might be feeling a shift in their frequency.
mm-hmm.
Um, Whales are interesting mammals, and here's another thing that I think of. So Aquarius, they're the water bearer, but they're an air sign.
Right.
Whales are mammals, but live in the water. So there might be some kind of irony that Aquarius stumbles upon in a situation for the full moon, something ironic. And I believe ants also tune into vibrations on the earth, like where they build their farms underground.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about vibrations of energy here with Aquarius.
So, if you're feeling a little like on edge, do the meditation, do the breath work, and I really feel like it's going to help you kind of ground yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so finally we have here Pisces.
Well, that was Fox, but we've already talked about Fox.
So you want to pick a new one?
Oh, here's the number 11, the moose.
Look, we have here Rabbit Spirit. Now's a lucky time.
What is moose? Moose is huge. I know that. They're a huge animal.
Mm-hmm. What I'm feeling with Pisces, that maybe Pisces, are you spending time with family? Maybe it's a lucky time for you and kids. Also, there might be babies, or maybe Pisces, you know of someone who just had a baby. Um, that's what I'm getting with that one.
It represents self esteem and wisdom,
Hmm.
giving yourself a pat on the back.
Okay. Um, I really feel that maybe they're feeling really good with their children. you know, like it feels as if okay, they're happy to be a parent at this time. If you have children, I don't know. I'm getting more like family vibes with Pisces at this time.
And interestingly enough, moose can be gentle like a deer, but can
Mm-hmm.
also stampede like the buffalo. So just Pisces, they can be very empathetic and compassionate, but boy, when they get mad, watch out.
Well, similar to the rabbit, rabbits can run.
Yeah,
Quick and timid. But I really feel like it's going to be an auspicious time for you wherever you go. That's what I'm
yeah,
getting with that. Yeah. Okay. All
very
right. Sounds
good.
good.
Yeah, I like these cards. I like the animals. Um, One of my dreams was just like one animal after another. It was a baby deer, a cow, an owl. I mean, my whole dream was just like one animal after the other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The one that I remembered the last that would happen, I think 2 days ago, is right before I woke up. I was actually feeling like I was in hypnosis. I heard myself in 3, 2, 1, wake up. And
Oh,
I was
I
like,
love that.
and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not waking up. And then I opened up my eyes. I was like, what the freak was that? Was I under hypnosis?
It's too
Like,
early.
yeah, it's too early for this crap. Like, why am I dreaming of being under like hypnosis? It's so freaky, guys. Like, seriously. So what am I doing in my alternate reality? Oh, that's weird.
I get Edgar Casey,
Mm.
like maybe working with Edgar Casey at his, maybe you helped transcribed his readings that he did under hypnosis, or I don't know.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I thought Edgar
I'm
Casey.
glad to be of service.
Yes.
But please fill me in. Was that really? Because I remember remotely it was a series of events that happened, but I couldn't remember that part. The
Right.
thing that I remembered was waking up from hypnosis. And I'm like, because usually in hypnosis, it's like, either they'll tell you that you'll remember what you do when you wake up, or they'll tell you you will not remember when I
Right.
count to whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't remember this one. And it's like I have it. I have traces,
Yeah.
memories, but it's not allowing me to remember
Yeah.
that. But that was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It was strange. Last night I didn't have enough sleep. I think I had 4 hours.
All these aspects to Neptune really is a great opportunity to do dream work. And generally, it is said with aspects to Neptune, your dreams have more color.
Mm-hmm.
Where people will often say they don't dream in color, under a heavy Neptune aspect, they may see color in their dreams.
Hmm. Well, I know my dreams are colorful.
I want to bring back the winning lottery numbers from my dream because they always say, think about numbers and bring them back. And it's like I never get quite enough numbers.
I was like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me
Yeah,
that one final
I need six.
the power number, like
Right.
ah, that's
Nice.
funny. So let's see. Let me go back into the chat room here. So Shabaka. Okay, let's see. Hmm. Yeah, he showed up in a dream around the new moon. Your soul was angry, told him to stop that many times, and the next day he had a threesome. Oh my god, that's a crappy dream. What is
Very
that?
Neptunian.
My son? No, that's not my son. Like my son. No, he's a virgin. Like both of them are. Let's see. Use Clorox if they're in your house doing a chain. Blocks off the scent trail. Are you talking moose? I don't know. I guess we kind of missed out on that. Let's see. You should both draw animals. Oh, we did. Didn't we? She
Does
tells
she
me
mean for
things.
herself?
Oh, I don't know. That would be interesting. Yeah, let's do one.
All right. You're going on vacation and I'm on standby. So we'll see what the next week.
Okay, so how about do you want to draw one for me and I draw one for you?
That sounds good.
Okay, yeah. Let's
Make
see.
it good.
Roll the dice.
All right.
My
All
nickname
right.
is Lady Luck. You
Scorpio
know that,
moon on
right?
vacation in the Grand Canyon. And this jumped out. Buffalo.
Buffalo. Oh, well, I think I
Boy.
will be seeing. Well, no, that's up
Yes.
north.
Well, Buffalo is one powerful of
Well, it's
all,
very similar to the antelope because with the buffalo, you use every part of the buffalo. At least the Indians do. What
and
I
their
know.
bladder is like really powerful
I need a
healing
strong
medicine.
bladder. Like,
So they represent prayer and abundance,
okay, that's good.
the most sacred,
Mm-hmm.
uh, sustenance, and give the gifts of the body. Smoke the pipe in a sacred manner. So you might be smoking in the Grand Canyon. I'm envious.
Well, I was thinking about going towards
Use
the
your
Red
energy in
Rocks.
prayer.
Uh, well,
So you
I
may have a
might.
spiritual experience in the Grand Canyon.
I think so. I think I'm being called to go there for whatever reason. That's actually
Yeah.
interesting. Um,
It's a
this is
sign that you achieve nothing without the aid of great spirit and that you must be humble enough to ask for that assistance and then be grateful for what you receive. So those are all things you've spoken of earlier as being grateful.
mm-hmm. Well, I'm all for it.
That's
I like
great.
I like it. So, okay. So I have two cards here for you.
I get two.
Yeah, you got lucky. And the first one was the rabbit. Now is a lucky time.
I have
And
had
this,
rabbits in my yard like crazy lately.
well, you're going to have more. No
And
play.
spider. Oh, my
Yeah.
two favorites.
So make your dreams real. Like, so you are actually going through a lucky time. I don't know if you want to do your own chart, but
I claim it. I did my chart actually with this full moon.
okay. Was it positive?
I'm going to make it so.
Okay, well, there you go.
Sometimes
So,
change and transition doesn't feel positive, but it is to get you to where you need to be, right?
yeah, and also I would say that pay attention to your dreams. Also, there's something that networking. Okay,
Uh,
I'm really feeling like networking is actually going to be important for you, and I know that you have a networking kind of event later on.
yeah.
So just be open to that. You could connect with someone at that time but I'm really feeling like there's two other outlets, okay, that I feel that is going to be auspicious for you. Um, I'm not exactly sure what, but there's two.
Great.
Okay, so just
The
be
more the
open to it.
merrier.
Yeah, let me know what happens with that too,
I've
and tell
always
me.
thought of rabbit as representing fear. And when you see rabbit, it's a reminder notice to face your fears.
Shoot,
And
that's what I think about the spider.
oh, the spider is telling you to communicate. But
I'm afraid of
interesting. I just, every morning, there are mama rabbits and baby rabbits in my yard. And one was even on my patio close to my back door, like they're not afraid of me. And whenever I see them, I try to think of, what is it I'm afraid of, and try to, breathe through that or work through it. So it definitely, breathing through anxiety has been what I've had to do lately.
Well, rabbits to me are signs of abundance.
Oh, good. Good.
Mhm. Yeah. They're good luck. That's a good omen to have like multiples of that. So
I love that.
you're
Yeah.
gonna be okay, honey.
Oh,
Like
good.
it's
I'm
gonna
so
hit you like you didn't see it coming. I really
right.
do.
It has been definitely a blindfolded couple of months, not knowing what's next.
Yeah, I really feel very positive about this. So yeah, very good.
That sounds
So
great.
let's see here. Shabaka's like buffaloes are dangerous. Well, I could be dangerous. um, you had a dream about a plane crashing in the ocean, then a tidal wave came through your house. Wow. Hmm.
So that's a lot of emotional turbulence. Water and dreams equates to your emotions. So something crashing, is that something coming to an end, or um, an emotional pattern coming to an end? um, and feeling this energy we're in right now is just extremely emotional. Even if you're, only as emotional as a brick wall, you're still going to get some emotion out of this full
Hmm.
moon, because with that triple conjunction with Uranus and Mars in the North Node, you could suddenly, have a fated encounter that changes the whole direction. One of my dreams this week, the words, change can happen within seconds. So what that meant to me was like, getting in the car, or carrying heavy things, to slow down, because, there are freak accidents that happen around your home. And, if you're driving, to take extra precaution,
Well, that's on the
because
28th.
yeah, things can change in a moment. Just like you could meet someone new in a moment. If you feel, downtrodden or heartbroken, or, maybe a friend betrayed you, or, a love relationship didn't work out, that let go of that hurt and grief, because anything can change within a moment. And I think it's healthy to have that sort of fascination of a child about your life, because it's easy as we get older to be more cynical or negative, and we
Mhm.
must always feel fascinated by the miracle of life. Every day is a birthday, and every day is a gift. And um, I don't know why. Oh, that dream, right? Crashing and water. That's where I got from that.
Well, don't say that because I'm about to fly tomorrow.
Yeah,
But I think it's gonna be positive.
I
So
think your vacation is going to be excellent. I can't wait to hear about it.
yeah, me too. I'll send you some pictures
Some
and stuff.
remote viewing with a little what's that stuff called? uh it's a mushroom psychedelic, starts with a P.
Peyote.
Peyote. Yeah, peyote in the Grand Canyon.
Honey, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Like, my trip days are over. I don't know if I can handle the psychedelics, in
But you
my
don't
old
have to
age.
do anything or be anywhere. You can just be one with nature.
And I'll be playing with the rattlesnakes and
Yeah,
the scorpions, like, "You're
yeah,
so cute, look at
yeah.
this." You're like, "What the fuck are you, like, holding on?"
You'll feed the dragonfly to the eagle.
I'm a snake charmer.
Yeah.
Like, "What?" Like, "No." I can see my brother, "What are you doing? Why are you playing with the
Just
snakes?"
be close to the edge of any cliffs, please.
I don't know. Like, "No, I'm gonna stay far away from that." No, I am going to, like, be clean. I'm not gonna do the whole spiritual trip.
Or a sweat lodge, or yeah,
I mean, I might smoke one, for old
yeah,
time's sake, but
yeah.
stuff
Might
like
as well.
peyote or, what was that other one that they do? Like, I can't do it if it stays in my system for a long time because then I wanna, like, I'm conscious of it and I'm just like, "Well, when is it?" It's like 8 hours, and when am I gonna come down off of this? So, yeah.
Rabbits are promiscuous.
Yeah,
Well,
they are.
I can't claim that one. I'm about as boring as it gets, Chewbacca.
No, I used to have pet bunnies, and they'd go at it from the moment that I let them be next to each other. I'm like, "Damn, look at them go at it." They're like, and then they hop a few times, they go, and I'm like, "Shoot, they can't." And I had to, like, tear them off of each other, and they just kept doing it. And I'm like, "Damn."
I had
Yeah.
one pet bunny, and to show you some of the scars from my demented childhood, I had an uncle that always threatened to make rabbit stew from my pet rabbit. So
Oh,
I've been
no.
traumatized from early on
Oh, that's not
with
good.
mean, crazy uncles and spiteful
I'll
siblings.
make rabbit stew out of your bunny if you
That's
don't,
right, you would. And
blah,
I
blah,
would
blah.
go
I'm like,
running to my
"What?"
mother crying, like, oh my God.
Well,
I've
I
never
had
eaten rabbit either. That's one meat I just never want to eat rabbit
I
or
don't know. I
duck.
never had no dang rabbit.
They're too cute.
Well, my rabbit stomped on the bunnies. I didn't know nothing about like raising, breeding bunnies and stuff, but
Okay. I
the
don't eat.
first time, that we had babies, the man bunny killed them.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's territorial. Um
Oh.
so when they have them, we have to separate the bunnies from the
Oh.
man bunny. And when I had my first bunny, I thought it was a boy. It turned out to be a girl. And the new bunny that I brought home was a boy.
Uh-oh.
That's why me and my brother, we were looking at the bunnies. We were like, "What is that?" We were little too, and we were looking at the rabbits like going at it, like, "What are they doing?"
Whatever happened to the bunnies?
I think they pretty much died off, and we had Floppy, my big one. And we had he was the Cadbury bunny, the one
Oh,
with yeah, he was a butter I call it the butterscotch bunny. It was, brown and white,
nice.
and, we just had to give him away because he was just too mean, and we kept cleaning out bunny poop, and
Yeah,
we were doing it for, like, fertilizer purposes, it did make a good compost and stuff like that, but, we just got rid of it because we had too many animals anyway. We had, 2 dogs we were breeding, um, it's a Korean breed, it's called Jindo dogs. It looks very similar to, the Shiba Inu,
okay.
and so we were breeding them. But then, our dogs were producing too many puppies, like
Oh,
yeah, and so we had to start giving them away for free, and so it was like the value of the puppies were going down, and they
right,
were both AKC registered, and, we were just having problems with it's like one thing, when you're a breeder and you're like, there's a waiting list, but
right.
we were produced they were coming out left and right, and we're like, "Damn," like
Male kills to breed again. Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
brutal.
Is that what that is? Mm. You live and learn, you don't know until you like even my pet fish. I thought that the first batch that the male was actually going to kill my babies, but it wasn't that. They mysteriously disappeared. I
Like
separated
they were
my
eaten?
parent. I don't
Were they
know. So this is the thing. I separated the parent fish from the baby fish, and then the fish were like disappearing. I'm like, where are they going? And I looked in the filter. There was no fish in the filter. I was like, where are they going? Are the baby
another
fish?
dimension?
Yeah, are the fish like
Beam
eating
me
each
up,
other?
Scotty.
Like the baby fish like feeding off of their siblings? Like I didn't know what the heck was going on. I don't know if anybody encountered that. Like I'm still trying to figure it out. But I only have 4 left out of 17.
Wow.
It's so strange. I don't know.
Well, maybe they
Shabaka says
ascended. Pardon?
yeah, goldfish will eat the eggs if you don't isolate them. Well, they weren't eggs. They just came out like poop, like out of the anal area or the same hole that excrete. I don't know.
Wherever they come out of a fish, right?
I didn't know like, male fish. Okay, so the dorsal whatever the pectoral fin on the bottom, it goes one direction. But you know what? Them things, they actually bend the other way to go into the fish. I never seen that before. So now I know how like fish do it.
Breed.
Like yeah, it's like the I will sit there and look at my aquarium and like, are they doing it? Because they're like rabbits too. And they have like a lot of babies or fry fish or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they produce like bunnies too. That's why fish are in abundance.
Do you have a cat?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No.
My boys are allergic to cats. Yeah. I'm a dog lover anyway.
Well, I tell you, animals are great lessons, right? Um, they say we can learn a lot just by watching our pets. So,
Oh, yeah. I did. I was like, oh, look at that. I was like, they're going at it again. I'm like having entertainment just looking at my fish in the aquarium. Like, look at him go. Like, look at this. And then I got pissed off at my male fish because after my mama fish, gave birth, he was hitting it again. And I'm like, no, you don't do that. Like,
give it
give her
6
some,
weeks.
yeah, give her some time. And she was tired. But honestly, after that, she died. She died because
Oh,
he wouldn't let her go. I was like, asshole. All because he couldn't control himself.
fish nature.
I guess that's a cycle of life. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. The cycle of life. That's a good one liner for the energy we're in is, the cycle of life.
Hmm. So, I don't know. Does anyone have any questions for Sunny at this time? And guys, if you guys are interested, okay, go ahead and book a reading with her if you feel guided to. And here we go, www.lionmountainhealing.com. And she could be of assistance while I'm away. And she'll actually give you some really good insight,
Try
doing your
to
natal chart.
anyway.
I always get a lot of good stuff that I don't pick up on my own because when you read for yourself, it is a little bit biased. I'm not gonna lie. It's difficult for me to read for myself than it is to read
Me
for
too.
someone else.
We're
So
too close to our emotions, right? And astrology, it's kind of a joke with astrologers when we read our own charts, everything is tragic.
yeah,
We
because the
always
whole
think the worst of what
interpretation.
could happen. So
Yeah,
you just don't do it.
I was like, could you do my chart, please? And it's also based on the reader too, because all just like, tarot readers, it's the same for astrologers. There's different interpretations of what you're
Yeah.
actually seeing. So,
But thank you for my mini card reading. That was good. That
oh
was
yeah.
very uplifting for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for mine too. I'm excited. Yay.
Yay.
So guys, let's see. Let me go back into the chat room.
Let's see. I have a tip on a project. How good of a deal is it? I don't know what that means. We're
Oh,
always open for projects.
so she wants to know, she got a tip off on something. So, is it a good deal?
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about me and Scorpio Moon doing a project.
No, let's
I have
see.
a tip on how good of a deal is it.
Spirit is saying yes. It's a good deal.
You know what? I love these cards. Let's do.
You need to make a deal to get it. Uh okay, you need to make a deal to get it. So, I mean, is this numbers, or do you have to do a proposal to win the project? Is that what you're getting at?
These are some of my favorite cards. The doors.
Mm-hmm.
So for Shabaka, what do we want to hear about a deal being proposed for her? What door should she be looking at? I'm waiting. They're thinking about it. Ah, so this door
Oh, it's a monk. Is it?
says, Divine Guardian, do not be nervous today or tonight. The path you are, boy, that's little writing. Hold on here. The path you are on will lead you just right.
And I have something that is good, and you have the sun, which is a yes. It says, life is wonderful, thrive through the power of positive thinking and inspiring success. So I see here sunflowers. This is looking good. I don't know if you're done with sunflowers. Just joking. But it looks it's a yes. It's a definite yes. So don't worry about it. It's going to manifest. So whatever that you need to do to get it, you will receive it.
And
Okay.
this says Divine Guardian. You're on the right path. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. So
that's really good.
go ahead and set your proposal, honey. You're
Thank
gonna
you, Pam. I really appreciate that and
you're gonna
glad.
get it. Cam has a question for you. How far into the natal chart do you look into?
So, with a regular natal chart, um, if you've had your natal chart read before, then I focus mainly on progressed at the time of the reading and for a year ahead. So, generally, a natal chart reading is an introduction to your natal chart where it's progressed at the time of the reading and 1 year from the time of the reading. Does that answer that question? I basically look at what's going on and progress it
Now.
and see what's going on for the future year.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, if people want to, how far do you go? The chart has endless amounts of information. So,
You
as
can go as far
far
as you want to go.
go, it's like
But how
what
deep do
did
you
I
want
do?
to go? Like,
Yeah, and certainly, we can look at relationships and all kinds of good stuff. So it's full of information and it's always moving. So it's not like your chart stays the same as it was at birth. It's significant what was happening at birth because where the planets are transiting now affects it has to affect something in the natal chart for you to be experiencing something in the 3D. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
And you know what? I don't even know what an Instagram account is. Is that terrible? I
No,
don't even really
basically,
know what that is and
uh,
why. How would I
okay.
use it?
So
What would I do?
basically, it's just pictures, and then you can write whatever about the picture. It's just a quick and easy way that you can scroll, 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 and see what interests you, what doesn't. But it's usually a glimpse of an image, and if you're interested, you read about it.
So, like, do an aspect for that day. So, like, if the
You can
moon
do
was
it
squaring,
daily, or you can just do, like, maybe a historical reference, or just put, like, tidbits of information. It's whatever information that comes to mind that'll be helpful. So, yeah.
yeah, definitely, Sarah, with Mars, Venus in Capricorn, and Aquarius ascendant, or you have your Uranus on your ascendant. I'm not sure which way you're saying that, but definitely you should have a very active full moon period because it
Mhm.
is in Capricorn. There are aspects already happening to all Mars, Venus, and Uranus. You could suddenly get a new work proposal, something that affects your money, Venus. You could be promoted in a current work situation, Mars. Um, Uranus is all about sudden. And if it's on your ascendant, you could suddenly move. You could suddenly physically change your hair color, do something like a facial Venus, beautifying your skin. I would say go to Scorpio Moon's website and check out, or the beauty website, and check out
Mhm.
the um, sugars and butters for skin care. That's how I would actually use this energy, being Mars, Venus, Capricorn, Uranus on the rising. This is you needing to be very mindful of caring for yourself and slowing down, not getting too rattled either way, because that's a very busy energy right there, having a lot going on.
Mhm. Yeah, Cam says that she doesn't know her exact birth time, but she knows it's close to 8 AM. I
That's
really
good.
feel like, yeah, so it should be good enough, and, Sunny can actually pinpoint a little bit more based on, like, big major events that has happened, and then we can, like, generalize, right?
Yes, it's called a rectification. And generally, what I do when someone has reached out through the website for a natal birth chart is, give you my interpretation report. And you always are free to follow up with additional questions. So it's not like you just get something and that's, I've always said, and I've read charts since the late 1970s. Once I've done your chart, you know, I'm I'm forever here for you, basically. And I've had clients that have come to me for annual readings for many, many years, or something in their life is going on, they'll reach out. So I feel very committed to a person when I've done their chart because it's very personal. It's also
Mhm.
confidential. That's why I'm always hesitant to do too much about a person's actual chart in front of others, because it can reveal very private things. And I take it very in a sacred manner.
Yeah, and also,
Yes, you
Sunny and
just
I
email. Yep.
Yeah,
It's
Sunny and I were actually thinking about doing a session, like a webinar, right?
yes.
But we'll talk about that as I return. But basically, if you guys are interested, Sunny will potentially be doing a class online where she can do your chart, and there will be a very closed session
Mhm.
where she can go over it, and then you get to learn was it the North Node and
Yeah,
how
we
it
were going to initially start, and there's just so many things we can do. If people
Mhm,
are interested in actually a beginner astrology class, that would start with houses, signs, and rulerships, moving into aspects as a more intermediate level. But for this sort of test field or test interest out there, I was proposing to do a class focusing on your north node, because my experience has been we all just want to know, what's it all about, Alfie? Why are we here? What's my mission? What's my gift? And we find that information in the chart through the north node, which is
Mm-hmm.
always a part of your natal birth chart interpretation when I do that, because that is considered to be the ultimate lesson and purpose of this path, the north node, the head
Okay.
of the dragon.
Right. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit more as I return, possibly in August. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
I need to
good
do it. I
good
need
stuff coming.
the help transitioning from a live human being classroom to, a Zoom classroom or whichever platform. But yeah, I'd love to do it.
Okay. You
Oh, how do
said,
we know which astrology to follow? What a great question. What
mm-hmm,
a great question. I think that it's basically regional. So, wherever a person was first introduced to astrology and what is the norm for that area, one thing that I notice a lot with outside of the United States charts, they're in the Placidus chart system. I
mm-hmm,
use what's called the Koch. These are all ancient mathematicians that came up with methods for the mathematical formulas that calculated the speed of each planet, which is how you place it in a chart. Before software was here, we did charts by hand and their mathematical formulas. The different systems connect to the ancient mathematician who developed that formula or system, and they can give different results. I've watched it. So my teacher used to always say, things go better with Coke. That was an old ad for Coca-Cola soda, was things go better with Coke. So I use the Coke system. Tropical or CDO has to do with the measurement from the equator and how you begin your math. So how do we know which astrology to follow? I would say, if you get an astrologer to do a reading for you and it resonates, then that system obviously is accurate to your chart. Um, and it really just has to do with what feeling do you get. There's really not a right or wrong. All charts, no matter what system is used, have valuable information. Another
mm-hmm,
philosophy sort of out there in the ethers is, regardless of what chart is presented in front of you, the universe has something to say through it.
mm-hmm,
So nothing is absolute, and there is free will, and that is what affects any knowledge or information imparted from an astrologer through a chart. It's a progression of your life. It's not point A to point B. So what I have noticed is regions determines what style. Of course, in India, they use Vedic astrology, and there's other systems. So, I'm in the south of the United States, and that was what the instructors and teachers back in the 70s taught, was the Koch tropical system. So
mm-hmm.
it is directly related to the mathematical formulas used to tabulate placement of the planets. Those placements are determined by the speed the planet moves in a given year. So no right or wrong. It's all in what you're comfortable with, and it's interesting.
Right. I think it's just a matter of resonance.
Right,
Do you resonate more with Western astrology or sidereal or Vedic astrology? And you can go with both. But
right,
yeah,
right.
it's a good question.
It's
Um,
interesting, because I certainly, have come across looking at charts for Vedic and sidereal and the Placidus system, and it's interesting. So you just have
mhm.
to. That's where we're all trying to tune into our own instincts and intuition and trust our inner voice, and what feels right to you. And I'll be
Mhm.
very anxious to hear feedback on that astrology session, KM. So the new moon is around the 28th, and I guess we'll do another live on that. Maybe you'll tune in with us and let us know how that went, or email me before then after the class and let me know your feedback. It's lionmountainhealing@gmail.com. Uh, so, Sarah, I studied on the Greek island of Kos. That's believed to be where the first school of astrology began in 220 BC. However, I am a resident of the United States, so that was a long sabbatical I took to study astrology in the Greek islands, and spent time in and around England, and but I live here in the United States. So thank you for asking. I've had a mix of both.
Yeah,
It's
you missed the episode where we were talking about the Greek
the
island.
Greek men. Yeah, we can talk about that anytime you'd like.
Okay, yeah. Next time, next time.
Ugh,
So, yeah, because it's hot.
oof.
I'm playing. I'm hungry too. So I know that I have to let everyone go here soon, and I know that you have some plans after this. So you're Greek.
Yes.
How ironic.
And, it's really, interesting. They say to learn these different platforms, like to sell on eBay, buy stuff on eBay, and that kind of thing. So I'm taking a Zoom class in antiques this evening, and participating in those classes helps me, feel more comfortable actually initiating that class, and being the organizer. So I appreciate everyone's patience with my lack of technical knowledge. If
Well,
I can get it out.
I think the payout is the wealth of knowledge that you bring forth. So I think that
Oh,
we all know how to be patient.
ah,
At least my viewers, you know.
I'll tell you, this energy, we have to be patient, or we're going to end up, you know, um, hanging off a cliff somewhere singing lullabies.
Kumbaya, kumbaya. Anywho,
Chewbacca remembers.
yeah, I know.
I don't think there's much you would forget, honestly. I think you've got a great memory. And if my dad can get around a cell phone, you can do it. Okay.
She
Well,
has a
I'm not
point.
crazy about my cell phone either. So,
Well, I
but
mean, like my mama, she's aged and she has AirPods. She has
oh,
a watch, like a iPhone
oh, that's
watch.
way over the top for me. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like, "Oh, like, let me, blah blah blah," and I'm
How do
like,
people read that little text on that
it's
little?
not little. It's actually it's big
Is
blocky
it?
numbers and stuff. Yeah. So she's all about technology and I don't know. She has more than I do. I was like, wow. I was like, what else do you have? You know. Anyways, has
Okay,
any?
yes, definitely menses is, yes,
It's
that's a
funny
big
you talked about that because I could feel it coming. I usually do it on the night of, and actually, when I first met my twin flame, it was, I think, a moon period, and I was on my menstrual day when the first day I met him. That's so weird, but yeah, that happened.
interesting.
Hmm.
That's one good thing about getting old. I don't have to deal with that anymore.
The thing is, like the hot flashes on the aftermath, you know, like or before you get to a point where you had a resting state. But
I was
um,
walking around a store somewhere just trying to think of, so many of us older women try so hard to keep our youth and don't want to age. And it really occurred to me that every stage of life there's good. I mean,
mhm.
you know, I'm older and wiser. I'm more patient than I used to be. Things that used to get me really upset or twisted up because they weren't just right anymore. It's like, oh, it's okay. You get
That's the
more
cycle of
chill.
life. It teaches you not to be attached to your physical self, but
Yeah.
the soul, the thing that's within, is what's really important. And the experience of your vessel, going through those changes, because I mean, imagine you being a baby and stuff all over again,
That and, just how society spends. And I was watching Cindy Crawford's infomercial on her skincare from a melon that keeps you young. And they put this side by side picture of her from a long time ago to now. And I just don't know why we're so put any value on that. I mean, it's,
Mhm. Well, I think it's on the person. It's self-preservation. And for me, I look at it as like self-love. You love yourself, you care for yourself, you if you know how to preserve yourself, that's you. Now, I was raised to be that type of person. So, I do skincare. Um, I don't really, capitalize on makeup. I'm wearing a little bit of it, but it's not that important to me. To me, what's important is skincare.
and your
So,
health.
yeah.
And your skin can be an indicator of what's going on with your
Mhm.
system.
It's a combination of everything. It's not just like, skincare products. It's what you eat, it's how much water you're drinking, are you smoking, are you
Having
doing
a good sweat.
alcohol? Yeah. So it's there's a lot. And plus I do collagen, so there's a lot of things that go into play if you want to, have like good skin and stuff like that. And also genes. That's what people tell me. You got
Yes.
good genes. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. I mean, I can't say no to it because, how would I know?
I
But I've
think
been
the, I
taking
think
care.
I think the connection I feel is really important between aging and appearance is keeping your strength, because um, muscle tends to dissipate as you age, and we all need to be able to run,
Mhm, mhm.
or keep strong so that you can be self-sufficient or independent and not rely on somebody to help you up or this or that. So all of it is connected to our physiology, right? Our how our
Mhm.
body is. So
Which
there's
I know that
nothing
mine
wrong with
was a
wanting to
little
keep
lacking
looking
lately.
young. It's just frustrating that, I don't know, it's just frustrating sometimes when you notice changes and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Shabaka was like, "She has good genes, not products."
Yeah.
I know that's what they
Well,
say
I
mostly.
mean, she says she hasn't had any work done, but I don't know.
Most times, people who are in the industry have had Botox, from what I know. Yeah.
My aunt used to always say, and I believe, and we've talked a lot today about the trends of these energies being all about follow your heart and get out of your head. My aunt always said, you're as young as you feel in your heart. And there's something to that, whatever you tell yourself, um, is really what you create,
Mhm.
so I try to be really careful about starting a sentence, I'm too old, and uh, it's easy to fall into that because when you feel weaker or more arthritic,
Mhm.
it's hard not to, but we just have to watch our words and thoughts and be mindful of what we're co-creating.
True. Okay. So, Cam's on about the adrenochrome.
I know.
That
I was
we
gonna
we
skip right over
we
that.
we're gonna stop right there. Like,
Yeah, we know.
yeah. So I always wonder what the stars would look like if they did their own makeup and hair or without makeup.
Me too. I think they'd be unrecognizable.
Well, I think that since they've had so much, like, work done, then they know how to do it because they've been, under makeup artists for a while, so
You're fine, KM. I agree with
Mhm.
you. I hope that comes out into the mainstream like
It
yesterday.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. I mean, it's not like a secret. And plus, people are talking about, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna
Well,
say it, but you all
and
know.
two, some of my favorite women's or men too, after all the work they get done, they just don't even look like themselves. And I'll catch myself thinking, I wonder what I bet they would have aged well, instead of doing sort of distorted caricatures of themselves. I bet a lot of them
Plastic.
would have aged fine and been very attractive older. Um,
Sorry.
one of them, one of my favorites was Melanie Griffith and Meg Ryan. Um, they're just so cute when they were younger. I think they would have been cute older, but they've done so much to their cheeks and lips and eyes. They don't even look like themselves. Oh yeah, and Priscilla. Yeah, I went to see the Elvis movie this weekend, and boy, that Austin Butler is a cutie.
Yeah, look at you. You're like,
He was only in my dreams.
I know, right? Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, my friend that bought the tickets put us right on the front row, and we were like, it was like in our face.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was good. I wasn't planning to see it, but had a friend offer to buy the tickets, and we went. She had seen it already, so for her, she wanted to see it again. I
Again.
will tell you, it was really hard to tell the real footage from Elvis and this actor. Like this actor did a really good um, version of him. Like they would do some original film from Elvis and then interchange it with him being Elvis. And there were parts where it was really hard to tell.
Hmm. Maybe
But
that's the real Elvis.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
interesting story.
mhm.
The
So
one thing that I
guys,
learned about Elvis in that movie that I didn't know was his mom was pretty much an alcoholic. And I always got the impression she was, like this strict church going lady, but she drank a lot. And I didn't know that.
that's sad.
Yeah.
Hmm. I guess he was kind of used to like being around that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Abuse. Yeah.
Mhm.
They did show a picture of Priscilla with the actor Austin attending like the opening or something. And
Mhm.
I mean, she doesn't look anything like. I just don't understand what they see when they think it's okay to get the cheek implants and misshape everything. It's sad. I wish they just, would embrace the natural process.
Well, I
As
know a
I
lot
go
of
get my hair colored.
I know. I mean, I know a lot of Asians, they get plastic surgery, and they
Yeah,
all look alike. So it's really big in Korea that
is
everyone
it?
gets yeah, everyone gets plastic surgery in Korea.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That's why they call them Gangnam beauties.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really big. And then you'll notice that every Korean looks the same. And it's because they think that the standard beauty is like I don't know, it's like, straight eyebrows, double eyelid, a thin nose, maybe they do get fillers because some of them have thin lips.
Um,
Also,
it's
they
really
want like the V shape. They don't like the round face.
okay.
Yeah.
So is it as expensive as it is here? I mean,
Oh,
thousands of dollars.
they are possibly bigger than any other country, I feel, in plastic surgery.
Wow.
Like even other people from China and Japan, they go to Korea for surgery.
Really?
Yeah.
So has the leader had plastic surgery?
I don't know.
Kim Jong?
Oh, that's North Korea. No, he's not a part of that. He's North
Oh,
Korea. Yeah, this is a South Korea type thing.
okay.
Hmm. And you'll
Interesting.
notice that all the girls, they have to be like really underweight, like 90 pounds,
Right. Yeah.
and very thin. Like you have to have long legs, long, thin legs. And that's why, if I go to Korea, there won't be any clothes for me. Like I won't be able to fit. Like I need American size, damn it. So yeah.
How
Yeah, Koreans do have the best skin because skincare is very important to Koreans. Usually they like the pale white skin. They're all into that, and they have like dewy skin complexions, and they're the master of that skin
wow.
thing. Yeah.
How interesting.
Hmm. So I know all about it.
Well, I love your skincare products, and
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
they do a great service to taking care of skin.
Well, I'm gonna take some with me because I think it's gonna be hot down there, and I'm gonna be dried up. And so I need to, well, I don't want to like, bake under it, but I know that at the end of the day, I should put something on to protect my skin and stuff. So, don't they use rice water on their skin? Yeah. It's like a tonic to clear your pores. Yeah, they do it like a pre-wash. Yeah, honey, she knows about it. It's very, very scary what they do to themselves and how the boys and girls are faced to get surgery. Yeah, they do it at a very young age too. It's because, yeah, they glorify that over there. So mhm.
Gosh.
It's worse than America.
So I just noticed the time, and I have a class starting in a little while. Take care
Yeah.
of my beasts downstairs, but I can't thank all of you enough for your time today,
Hmm.
and hope you've gleaned some good, positive information to use over the next few weeks, and that you have a great vacay.
Thank you, and I'll be back to report my vacation and
Great.
share what I've experienced. So I'm excited.
Yes. Some remote viewing.
That's so funny. My phone heard you about remote viewing. Do you see that?
Oh, that is just to see what I mean about, yeah.
I don't know how to shut that thing off. Like, just shut it off. But anyways, you're welcome, Shabaka. And again, if you guys want to book a reading with Sunny, okay, go ahead and check her out, lionmountainhealing.com. If you want to send her a message, lionmountainhealing@gmail.com. Thank you again, Sunny, for being
Thank
here with
you.
us today. It's been a pleasure, as always. And yeah,
Hang on for the ride, folks, and
yes.
breathe.
Yes, and
That's
again,
my
thank you
advice.
all. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.